All right, let's just dive right into this explainer. Today we're breaking down a completely custom development workflow, and it's powered entirely by Google tools. Now, if you're a developer, you already know the traditional grind, right? You have this amazing idea, but then you immediately hit the brick wall of setting up infrastructure, writing endless boilerplate, and just wrestling with deployments. Well, today we are looking at a personal automation system that completely rewrites that narrative. We're going to see exactly how integrating Google's advanced AI and data tools creates this incredible rapid development workflow. A workflow that essentially automates your boilerplate, your provisioning, and your deployment, all from a single natural language prompt.
So I really want you to ask yourself, what if coding was literally just describing what you want? Imagine completely bypassing the pain of traditional DevOps. No more spending hours configuring servers, or untangling dependency hell, or fighting with hundreds of lines of YAML files just to get a basic foundational environment running. Instead, imagine jumping straight from your initial thought, your core concept, to a working reality in a fraction of the time. This isn't just about saving a few minutes of typing, It's a fundamental shift in how we actually build, test, and ship software.
And this quote right here really hits the nail on the head for our focus today. As the source material states, by bridging the gap between a conceptual idea and a live, deployed environment, this system shows how one developer can scale their productivity exponentially. Let's actually unpack what scaling exponentially means in this context. We are talking about empowering the solo developer to do the work of an entire team. It means moving away from manually writing line-by-line functions and stepping directly into the role of a high-level systems architect. You're taking that raw conceptual idea and making it live, completely skipping the usual operational friction.
Here is our blueprint for today's explainer. We'll cover 1. The rapid development vision. 2. The Google core tech stack. 3. The describe and deploy workflow. And 4. Disrupting traditional development.
Let's start right off with Section 1, the rapid development vision.
So the big picture here frames a single developer utilizing AI as a high-efficiency alternative to high-cost manual processes. The goal is rooted really deeply in business automation. We aren't just trying to type out code faster, we're aiming to automate the entire lifecycle of software creation. Just think about the standard dev lifecycle for a second. Gathering requirements, scaffolding the project, establishing CI/CD pipelines, and finally, writing the underlying logic. When a single developer has the power to automate away all that manual setup, well, they aren't just a coder anymore. They become the architect, the product manager, and the operations team, all rolled into one highly efficient engine.
Moving along to Section 2, the Google core tech stack.
First up is the Gemini AI integration. You can think of this as the brain of the operation, acting as the intelligent orchestration layer. But to be totally clear, you're not just using this as a sophisticated autocomplete. Gemini actually processes your natural language descriptions to architect and generate complete, clean code structures instantly. Under the hood, it's actively parsing your intent. It's generating structured JSON or Python scripts that automatically handle your routing, set up your controllers, and define your data models. It takes your plain English and translates it directly into robust, functional architecture.
Next in the stack, we have the Google Places API. Because let's face it, applications need rich data to actually be useful. And the Places API acts as our strategic data engine. It identifies and gathers vital business insights, which bridges the gap between real-world data and software generation. To give you a concrete example, if your natural language prompt asks for an application that maps out local coffee shops, the system automatically writes the exact calls to the Places API to pull in live ratings, geographical coordinates, and operating hours. You don't even have to touch the API documentation. The system just wires up the data engine for you seamlessly. Finally, tying this whole ecosystem together is the Google Optimized Python environment. This is basically your master controller. Python orchestrates the entire logic of this system, ensuring high performance and reliable API communication. Let's look at how this operates practically. Python takes your initial prompt, passes it directly to Gemini, and then receives the newly generated code. After that, it executes the necessary environment setup, securely handles your API key management, and binds the newly written logic to the Google Places data streams. It's the solid, dependable foundation that takes all these dynamic pieces and fuses them into an automated, working application. All right, Section 3, the describe and deploy workflow. This is where it gets really good. The crucial point here is this describe and deploy methodology, which is designed for absolute maximum efficiency. The pipeline moves through 3 distinct phases. 1. Natural language architecture. 2. Automated resource provisioning. And 3. Instant live deployment.
Let's break down exactly what happens technically in each of these integration steps.
In the first step, natural language architecture, you're completely eliminating manual boilerplate coding. As a developer, you literally just describe your intent. You don't manually write routing logic or setup files. Instead, you might type something like, create a Flask application with a real-time dashboard that displays top-rated restaurants using data from the Places API. The AI then steps in, translates those plain English requirements, and handles the creation of all the functional files. It establishes the exact architecture needed based purely on your description.
But, writing the code is really only half the battle. That brings us to step 2, automated resource provisioning. The pipeline handles all the back-end setup automatically for you. It immediately creates dedicated databases for your new application and allocates specific network ports for proper isolation. Technically speaking, your Python orchestration layer is likely running automated shell commands or utilizing cloud SDKs in the background. It instantly spins up local SQLite databases or provisions isolated Docker containers on the fly, just to perfectly fulfill the specific architecture the AI requested. You aren't manually configuring servers, the system is provisioning the exact resources dynamically.
And finally, step 3, instant live deployment. With a single action, your code is written and deployed to a live environment, completely wiping out traditional DevOps overhead. This allows for immediate testing and iteration. Think about the impact that has on your workflow. Because deployment is instant, the feedback loop for a developer drops from hours to mere seconds. If there's a bug, or if you simply want to add a brand new feature, you just refine your natural language intent and redeploy the entire stack instantly. You describe it, the AI builds it, the system provisions it, and you are live.
Which brings us to our final section, disrupting traditional development. When we actually contrast the old paradigm against this new automated pipeline, the massive disruption to the standard development cycle becomes undeniable. Think about the traditional way: manual boilerplate coding, heavy DevOps overhead, and ultimately high-cost manual processes. We are talking about the massive financial and time costs associated with 2-week sprints, endless sprint planning meetings, maintaining dedicated QA environments, and heavy operational friction. Now look at the new workflow. You describe your intent to the AI, and you get instant live deployment. By utilizing these Google tools, a single developer creates an automated alternative that operates at essentially zero marginal cost. It absolutely shatters the traditional financial models associated with building software. The source material says the distance between an idea and a live application is now just a single click. And honestly, this isn't science fiction anymore. By integrating Gemini, the Places API, and a robust Python environment into a describe and deploy workflow, this single-click motif is a highly practical reality. You are no longer bogged down by the mechanics of building, configuring, or debugging infrastructure. You get to be entirely focused on generating value from your core ideas. So, I'm going to leave you with this one provocative question to chew on. What will you build now that the barriers are literally gone? When the high costs and technical bottlenecks of traditional development are completely removed, and this highly optimized Google-powered workflow is in your hands, the only limit is your imagination. It is time to start describing your next big idea.